Welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. My name is Winter Phonander, I'm a comedian, and this is my show, so welcome to the show, guys. This is episode 64 with a very funny Susan Murray. She runs a comedy club which she compares every month called the Red Imp. She has just finished running the Walthamstow Comedy Festival, and she also does a radio show with Nina Benjamin called You Have Been Warned, and that is on an online radio station on East London Radio. She's very funny and great act. I enjoyed spending an hour and 20 or so minutes with her. They just absolutely flew by. And I got a bit unnerved after a while because the interview that I was doing ended up becoming an interview about me. And like, you know what? She put me at ease. She said, look, Winter, it's okay. It's a conversation, which was nice. I enjoyed that. No, but go and find her on Facebook. Go and find her on YouTube. Go and see her live. She's supported Daliso Chaponda, you know the guy, you might have heard of him. He's been on Britain's Got Talent. She's been supporting him around the country, and she's been added on for a few more dates supporting Daliso. Go and check her out live. She is very funny. You can follow this podcast on Twitter at The Comedy Defect. You can follow me at Winter Phonander, or you can come see my live stand-up gig dates, which are on my website, which is winterphonander.com. Now, you're going to be hearing this after I've done the Fringe, or actually just while there's going to be 3 days left of the Fringe experience for me when this goes out. I hope that I'm still alive and it's gone really well. But if there's 3 days left, you can come see me at Edinburgh. Just come up for the last 3 days. I'm there till the 28th. But if you want to support this podcast, you can. Go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast. You can donate as little as £1 or as much as you feel this podcast is worth. But if you're in Edinburgh for the last 3 days, that's the 25th, 26th and 28th, come see a couple of my gigs. That'll be fun. That'll make it up to me. Or look, or if you don't want to support the podcast, just leave us a nice, honest review on iTunes or Podbean. Go on. It's on your phone. That thing you're holding in your hand. That thing that, you just stare at like a glowing orb every day. That thing that, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you just pick up that thing. You know that thing? Yeah, that thing you're holding in your hand right now. You can leave us a nice, honest review. 5 stars is fine. Just let it go. Just pretend like you're on TripAdvisor. Pretend like your opinion matters, okay? Just do that. Just go with it. Just enjoy yourself. This is episode 64. I know you're going to enjoy it. I enjoyed talking to Susan for an hour or so. It was great. It just flew by. Episode 64, Susan Murray. Enjoy. Susan Murray, welcome to the Comedy Defect in your own house, but thank you for having me over.
That's all right, mate.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I've got one of those surprising hangovers where you weren't expecting it, because the night before last I drank 3/4 of a bottle of wine and I was fine all day yesterday. Then last night I finished off the bottle of wine, so it's like a small glass of red, and I am absolutely hanging today.
Oh, just topped it up like sort of thing.
Well,
like...
I've had to go and have a fry up, and I still feel really bad. It was one glass of wine, what a lightweight. So it's one of those like unfair hangovers, because I really don't deserve this.
The sweats and paranoia, like, are they just like...
No, not quite that bad. Just a headache and just like feeling a bit... I haven't got the horrors, thankfully. Oh, those are the worst, aren't they, though? Especially when you're going through airport security.
Oh, totally, like just sweating and looking paranoid, and like, oh yeah, just come up here for a second, please.
I'm not smuggling drugs. I'm just hungover. That's all. Honestly, officer.
I did a gig the other day, and there was like one guy who drank like 4 cans of Red Bull, and I was like, holy fucking shit!
Oh my wow!
And he was MCing on another planet somewhere.
Did it work? Did the gig work?
Not really.
Oh really?
Not really. But everyone was going on, but it was just like, because like that much energy in one person is like creates like a couple more people in that one person, and then they're just like having a conversation with themselves on stage.
Each can is another personality.
It is really, that's what happened. Like, and they were all kind of like watching these 4 acts on stage in one act. And occasionally there would be a laugh. That any of those people weren't really connecting with the people that were actually in the room, if you know what I mean. So it's like, oh man. So it was kind of weird to go
just
on.
Confusing.
To that. Yeah, absolutely. They were like, whoa, what's happening? Is this for us or them?
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, the thing is, Red Bull, it is a tool of the trade, isn't it? Because if you're driving, like the other day, I did London to Hull and back in one day. Yeah. So by the time I'd gotten there, because of the Friday traffic, you're just fried, basically, aren't you? And I was like, right, the only way I'm going to get through this is a can of Red Bull. So it works. It really, really does work. And then I had a Diet Coke on the way back because you're tired driving home.
Yeah.
And then I had chest pains.
Oh, shit.
I was on the motorway thinking, am I going to have a heart attack on this motorway? Do I need to unlock my doors just in case somebody needs to access my body?
Yeah.
And then I remembered I'd had Red Bull and I don't normally drink caffeine because I don't like warm milk, so I don't drink tea. And then I was like, oh yeah, it was the Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull and Diet Coke.
Do you get that though? Like, I mean, I'm a nightmare. It's like I'll get hungry and like, oh, and you want to just grab something nice and quick, and like you gotta grab a big pack of crisps or something, right? And you get home, and then you have you kind of have the same sort of chest pains. But as you finish the bag, you're like, oh god, these chest pains, that must be all the fat coagulating in my arteries. I better lie on my right side, just in case it just settles on the one. You know, do you ever have that? I get that. Maybe that's my paranoia as well. But I get that, you know, with the Red Bull, I can't drink it as well. But I did try some of these, I was down at Brighton Fringe there, was it last week? And then I had because I had a kid show, I had a game show, Stu Turner's...
There's a person called Stu.
Stu, sorry, Stu. It's my accent. No, it's Stu Turner. You know, he's got like a game show he does down there. He's done it for like a few years.
I don't know him, actually.
And he's a magician, a comedian, and he did that, and then I had another promo spot, and then I had my own hour show in the evening, and I was like, fuck,
that's too much.
I'm so... the kids' show was the one I was more terrified about than anything else, you know?
So that uses all your energy up, doesn't it, being all that nervous?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember once I had 6 shows in a day in Edinburgh Festival. It was, by the last one, I was emceeing a late night, quite big gig for my friend Neil Masters, who puts on, like, you know, he has, like, you know, people like Tom Stade on, and, like, lots of big acts on. It's just a midnight show. Nothing was working, no amount of caffeine was helping, and I was a bit rubbish, really, but I was just... you can just do too much in one day, and then you have to sort of like, you do have to know your limits, really.
Yeah. Before we started recording, it's like, I had my own gig last night, and I had Stefano Paolini, and then like Ed Hedges opened, and then 2 minute spots with Cavi Apado and Yaz Feto, right? And then I felt really good. I feel really good today. It's going to be a good gig, you know. And you're driving to the gig, like, yeah, you know, get there, and you're just like you have the energy, you have the joy in you, but it's not translating. And you're going, what is the disconnect?
It completely reminds me of like me about say 10 years ago, and sometimes. I've never really worked out what he was. Sometimes you'd be in a really good mood and you'd have a good gig, and then other times you'd be in a really good mood and you wouldn't have a good gig, and it was like the two things didn't really correlate, and you assume that they will, but they don't. Yeah. And then other times when you're like really hungover and not in the mood, not up for it, you might have a great gig.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no laws, there's no rhyme or reason. But then there is that thing where, you know, the worse the time you have getting to the gig, generally the nicer the gig is. You know, if there's been like a closure on the M1 on a Friday and you get to your gig and you're on stage like 20 seconds later, sometimes you have a better gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish somebody needs to write out the laws of good gigs.
You've actually made it to the gig on time. I mean, we did...
what are the cliches of people? Everyone has their own path.
Yeah, okay, right.
I'm going to do some new material tonight. That's the other cliche that people say to themselves and never do.
Yeah.
It's all material is another one.
Yeah.
Because everything's material. Like if you get put in jail, you know what I mean? If you get shot in the leg, it's all material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day's a school day. Yeah, you haven't heard that one?
No, not in stand-up.
I might just be one of my own that I've been hammering out. Like, you learn something from every gig.
You don't actually.
No, you don't.
The most frustrating thing is when you've had a ropey gig and you kind of do the gig autopsy on the way home in the car, and sometimes you just can't work it out, and it's really frustrating. If you can work it out, it's fine. If you go, oh, I stepped on those hecklers too hard at the beginning, you made the audience put them on the back foot. You know, sometimes you can work it out, but when you can't, you just I think I might just drive into the central reservation and be done with it all.
Was it on the way back, hopefully, after you got paid? That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah, but batch to follow, so you'd have to queue yourself after a week.
The thing of the last night, I first people, you first person you speak to, they say, the first thing is like, you're that MC tip, okay? Always speak to the person who's smiling first. The person in front who's smiling.
I wish someone had told me that years ago.
Yeah, and I haven't followed that advice twice. A woman with her, what looked to me I assumed stupidly that, is this your son? I said, no, it was her bloke she's been going with for 7 years. And I was like, oh no, and he was visibly a lot younger than her, and I wasn't judging at all. I was just like, is that your son? Because he looked younger, but they looked so similar, because they had the same glasses and everything, you know, and I was like, oh shit.
Morphing into each other.
That was the first thing I asked.
And then, that must have happened to her loads, really.
It did.
Were they alright about it?
Yeah, they were pretty cool about it. And I was like, in the break, I was like, because I knew them, because they come to the gig every month, you know, and I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. And they were like, no, it's fine. She was like, she next time she's going to bring, she just wanted to leave a booby trap for me, you know. I was like, there you go, I know you're going to fucking ask me.
Yeah.
And that's it. So she was just like...
Did you go into them? Did you find out the age difference?
No, because the audience just went, oh, you're an asshole. Yeah, totally. And I just went, okay, hey! And then just carried on, and then just tried to make salvage something from the wreckage, and I did, but it was just like, oh man,
you see, in that situation, I would have just gone, you dirty old bitch, you, and just really gone for it. And then if you kind of, it's almost like kill or cure, isn't it? You just have to kind of go, oh, look at you, how did you find him? Did you hang around a school? You know, that kind of stuff. And just really go into it.
But it was just like, I was just like flummoxed. I was like, absolutely like, oh no.
But next time you won't be.
No, that's it, it's true.
So, you know, it is all a school day, isn't it? Do you know, the first I MC'd was one of Daniel Kitson.
Oh, yeah.
I MC'd one of his first gigs, and I was just terrified of MCing, and it took me 3 years to actually do it. When I started running my own gig and MCing my own gig is when I finally got comfortable with it. And now I can breeze through it, really. Yeah. And I think if you're just confident and you don't worry, but it's really hard to do that double bluff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but if you're genuinely don't care, it's generally fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get audiences. I mean, oh my God, I remember once I was MCing in Nottingham, the place where the maggots came through the ceiling one time.
Right.
Just couldn't get anything from the audience. They just did not want to speak to me. What do you do? Nothing. What do you do? I'm a prostitute. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And like after you've had 3 of those, you just think, I hate you all. I really genuinely hate you. And then I started doing jokes, nothing. Then I thought, oh, well, I'll do short jokes, nothing. And it was a bank holiday, and I remember driving home thinking, why do I do this to myself? Yeah. And that was one of the... It was just... They were just horrible. They were just vile. But if you go on and they hate you, but the acts still do well, you've still done your job. Because you are there for the acts to have a good time, really. So even though you're taking it on the chin and you are taking one for the team, because they're going to... You know, if they're in that mood, they'll hate one person. It's invariably the MC. You've still done your job, and there's no point in beating yourself up about it.
That's it. But luckily, like, they come every month, and they seem like me do well, but they were like, they were just loving this moment of watching me squirm for a change. You know, like, it was delicious for them. It was delicious. They were like, finally, we got you. And I was like, fuck, this is not my night, it is your night. You know, so... But yeah, it was. But as I said, everyone did really great. But you've been supporting Daliso Chaponda, haven't you? On this tour?
Yeah.
And how was that? Was it fun?
Oh, it's been really, really nice. It's what's lovely about it is the audiences. Generally, a couple of them haven't been great because if they haven't come to see you specifically, they can be a bit. And the Mac in Birmingham wasn't good. They were just kind of like. They were just really stuck up and a bit hard, and I told them, because I'm from near Birmingham, but I'm from the Black Country, but obviously Birmingham looks down on the Black Country, and in the Mac, it's very posh around there, so they really looked down on me, so that didn't endear me towards them at all. But generally, the audience has been so, so nice. And you can go on and you can play, and, you know, I'm meant to be doing 20 minutes and I've been doing 30 to 35 because it's been so lovely. But it doesn't matter because, like, the gigs, you know, they're not on a massive timescale thing. And it's nice having the regular work, and it's just been, I've really, really enjoyed it. And Daliso, the tour's really long. He's doing about 6 months or something. And he's split it up. He's got 5 different support acts, so he split it up between 5 of us. So I did my last one last week. I did Kings Lynn on Saturday, and I did Canterbury on Sunday. And Sunday was such a ball. Yeah. And the guy who taught me stand-up came to Canterbury.
Right. Who taught you stand-up?
Dave Thompson.
Oh, right, yeah.
He taught me stand-up at the Jackson's Lane Community Centre in Highgate.
Right.
He'd left his suit at... Do you know Tony Vino?
Are you talking about Dave Thompson, the Tinky Winky?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, of course. Yeah, great.
He'd left his suit at Tony Vino's when he was gigging in Manchester, like, the week before. So Tony Vino gave it to Daliso, who's his best mate, and said, are you going down south? He's like, yeah, could you take Dave's suit for him? Because that's what comics do. Yeah. If somebody's left him, I'll take that. But I didn't get to see him, actually. I'd left by the time he'd made contact with me because his phone didn't have any signal. But yeah, he sent me a really complimentary text. He's like, that's the best I've ever seen. I was like, nice. Oh, you're my teacher.
That's great. Oh, that's great. Oh, a bit of kudos.
Oh, yeah, it's been really good. And, I mean, the problem with going on tour with someone is you go on and you think you've had a corker of a gig, right? Because my stock line that I've loved doing, because the age limit is 14 at these gigs, so you do get some youngsters in the crowd. So when there's a boy, I generally say to them, and this is my favourite bit to do, ask them a few questions and ask them their age, and then just say, it's so nice that you could take some time out of your wanking schedule to join us. And their parents are literally creased up, and it takes the room down, man. So it's been really, really good fun doing that. So I've been having, I've had some of the best gigs of my life doing this tour. And then Daliso goes on stage and he just wipes the floor with me because he's so good. Yeah. But I've been learning a lot from watching him, actually. I've been learning... Because you could, even though I've been doing it for 2 decades, you can still learn. And I'm learning from watching the way he performs and the way he minds material. And, like, that's what I love about this job, because you've got someone like Dave Johns is in his 60s. So is Jeff Innocent. Have you worked with either of these two?
Yeah, yeah.
They're amazing. And they're still getting better year on year, aren't they? I did new material on Monday night, and I worked with Grania Maguire, and I haven't seen Grania for ages, and she had some... I can't stop thinking about this routine that she did. She did this brilliant routine about... She went on a date, and the guy said to her, "You look like a nun in civvies." Oh, my God. Me and Hal Crutton were sitting there, we were absolutely pissing ourselves laughing. But then she mined it. Yeah. She really mined it for material, and she must have done a good 5 or 6 minutes on this subject. Brilliant. And it ended up with her going on about, I'd be the hot nun. I'd be sent to the Von Trapp children to go and look after them. What it ended up with? It was basically her going on about Baron Von Trapp. What happened to his wife? I mean, they've got all those kids. How old was he? Did he fuck her to death? Oh man, on the floor. Yeah. And it was just really good the way she'd done it. And she runs writing courses as well, so she knows how to mine a subject. It was really inspiring watching her. I thought she was great.
A load of twists and just I took it there and took it there.
Yeah, where's she going to take this? I mean, the main joke was, "You look like a nun in series." I was just bellowing at that because she really does. Yeah. Bless her.
Well, you say you do a radio show as well at the moment?
Yeah, I do. I co-present with Nina Benjamin on East London Radio, which is an online radio station. Because we were going to do a podcast actually, and then I think I went there to promote a gig, or maybe the Red Imp Comedy Club previous season for last year. And I just said to the guy running it, I said, "Can I come and present a show on here with a friend of mine, another comedian?" He went, "Yeah." Because, no one's getting paid. He's not going to say no, is he, to a couple of stand-ups doing a radio show for him. We do it roughly monthly, the first Tuesday in the month, and we absolutely love it. And we've learnt how to mine and go with the conversation. Yeah. Because we don't have any specific subjects, and podcasts are meant to be about, a specific subject, but, it's still a radio show. And then we choose songs to play to it, because we've got such wildly different music tastes. She's into, soul and R&B, and I can't stand any of that shit. And I'm into punk and indie. She can't stand any of my shit. Yeah. So from that point of view, it's actually really funny. Great. And we do lots of talking about food, because people really go in for food nostalgia, don't they? Things like, do you remember Dream Topping? All that kind of shit. Right. And then we film it as well on Facebook, so we broadcast it on our page. And the show is called "You Have Been Warned," because we swear a lot. We're both a couple of sweary Marys. That's why it's got the. And I think someone else came up with that title for us, because we were like, "I can't think of a title." So we put it out on Facebook, and we both live our lives on Facebook. So we've got a page on Facebook, and we broadcast it from that page, so people can just watch us as well. And we get more views on that, actually, because I don't know how many people listen to online radio. I can't imagine there's loads, because it's... And people have said to us, can I download it so I can put it on my phone and then listen to it in the car? So we had to get the station manager to sort of up his game technologically and go, "We need a podcast of ours." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll do that for all of them then." Great.
So they just podcasted it for you without even to do anything else?
He did it all.
That's great. I know. Nice one. So
it means I can sell all my podcast equipment. I can sell now because I don't need it.
That's it. So
but it's great fun because you just sit and you're just yakking away. And we really make each other laugh as well. And I'm kind of almost a straight woman, and she's the kind of the mad, zany one. We haven't done it for a while because Nini's been away, and so we're doing it again next week. My parents are down, actually, so I think I'm going to have to sort of get my dad's cousin lives around the corner, and we're going to have to... Can you go to the pub with my parents so they have no way of listening to my radio thing? I don't want them to hear it.
Yeah, so do you, of course, the banter back and forth has been turn that shit off now, we're going to put some punk on, right, and that kind of thing, back and forth.
And I always play something by The Damned or New Model Army. I'm sure the listeners go, it's either going to be The Damned or New Model Army or The Cult. It's always all the ruts. So, it's always the same stuff that I play.
So you've been going, 20 years then?
Yeah.
Wow. How many shows have you, or just shows?
Oh, hang on, let me think. I did 1 compilation, 2 compilation. I think I've done about 3 compilation shows. And I've done more solo shows than I've done Edinburgh, because I've done a couple that I haven't taken to Edinburgh. Yeah. No, I've done about 3 that I haven't taken to Edinburgh. And Edinburgh, I did Accent Show in 2010. I did Photo Booth in 2011. Then I did Fuckwit Club in 2016. And I nearly went this year, but I wasn't quite prepared enough and didn't get the venue I wanted. So I'm going to do a show about swearing next year called Potty Mouth.
Right, cool. Because I always get told off for swearing, and I think I might as well just play to my strengths. That's right. How many's that then? How many shows have you done?
Solo shows. I've probably written about... dating, I've written about 5 solo shows. Yeah. themed ones.
Yeah. What's the theme one? What are the themes for each of those?
Well, I did a dating show called 21st Century Fox. Then I did a show about accents called The Glot All Stops Here. I'm very proud of that title.
Yeah.
And I did loads of research for that, and I sort of spoke to like professors of English and linguists and all this kind of stuff. One linguist at the UCL went, I think I might nick that title. I went, don't you dare nick my title. And then I did one about my obsession with passport photographs called Photo Booth, which is more kind of anecdotal about, mad stuff that's happened to me and all that. I accidentally started a riot on a council estate in Holloway once. And then the last one that I did up there was called Fuckwit Club. Now, Fuckwit Club is a thing that I invented a few years ago with my friends that live round here in Walthamstow. And we would spend all day Sunday drinking, and they've all got work in the morning. And it consists of like a BBC radio engineer, a cancer research scientist, a TV director. So they'd all be absolutely hanging on a Monday morning. And the first rule of Fuckwit Club is you don't know why you're in a Fuckwit Club. So what we do, actually where I run my gig, that's Fuckwit Club headquarters. So what you do each week, you nominate who's Fuckwit of the week. So you each throw into the pot the stupid things that you've done that week. Yeah. And it's really good to know that everyone else who's quite bright is also doing really fucking stupid things as well.
Great.
And then whoever wins Fuckwit of the week drinks out of the tankard. Yeah. Now, I had the tankard engraved, and it was hashtag FWOTW. But the fucking idiots that engraved it, they put the hashtag in the wrong place. And I thought, well, that's just perfect, isn't it?
Makes all sense.
And when I was and they were like, and when it was at Timson's in the mall in Walthamstow, and they were going, well, what does this mean? And I went, well, it means Fuckwit of the week. And they were like, what? So I explained Fuckwit Club to them, and they went, oh yeah, we should have one of them. Yeah. And I think there should be Fuckwit clubs all over the world.
Totally. Yeah, that's it. I think that's a great idea. I think that's brilliant. That's so much fun. That's it. Just go celebrating your failures of the week. That's great.
Because I was going to call the show Eyes Down for a Full Murray, and then I thought, actually, Fuckwit Club's better, because it was quite good to fly with, because you'd get people going, oh no, like, because they don't like swearing, or the show's not for you anyway. And then you could enable me to walk up to like a table full of people all having to go and say, right then, which one of you is the fuckwit on this table? And they always nominate someone, do you know what I mean? Because people love being horrible to their mates, don't they?
Of course, they all own up to the spec.
Yeah.
And what's in the tankard though? Is it just like the?
No,
you
have to drink out of the tankard.
What's in it though? What's in it?
Oh, nothing, just whatever booze you decide to put in there.
Right, so just any evilness that you want to put in there to destroy the person.
Or like, drinking Prosecco out of a tankard is a unique experience.
Oh, okay, fine. I thought it was just something like, something hideous, like a dirty pint or something like that, it's like something really evil.
Oh no, we're just stupid, we're not evil.
Okay, that's fine.
But a couple of my favourites were when the cancer research scientist, she does the door for my gig actually, she's a mate of mine, she was once holding a poo bag and some letters, and she posted the poo bag and she put the letters in the dog thing by mistake.
Oh no.
And then the radio engineer who does the sound for my gig actually, he threw his mobile phone out and he found it in his recycling bin by using his Where Is My Phone on his iPad. He'd gone in the recycling.
God. Yeah. Fold on that walking past like a river or something, and like just you have your wallet in your phone in your hand, just don't throw it. That paranoia. You just want to throw it.
Why are you compelled to throw it?
Just want to feel what it's like to lose everything in my life. That's what it is. Just let it go. Just throw it in the water. No, don't do it. It's like it'll feel bad. It'll feel bad. No, but I want to feel something today. That's what it's like. Isn't it? It's so dead inside.
Just go home and self-harm instead.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
cheaper than replacing a phone.
That's very true. And I'll heal, but phones don't heal. But yeah, you're not doing Edinburgh this year, and you've been supporting Daliso. And so, what else are you doing? What's else in the pipeline?
Running a comedy festival on my own. So I've got all previews on at my gig at Red Imp Comedy Club, which is in Walthamstow, and it starts in a couple of weeks. And I've got like 19 shows on. Wow. That's a lot of tickets a shift. Yeah. So it takes up so much, because obviously you promote a gig, but it takes up so much fucking time. Like, even just like doing the listings, doing the booking, dealing with agents, getting the print done, getting the design, flyering, postering. Yeah. It takes up most, at the moment it's taking up most, because, it starts in a couple of weeks, but then it'll be over for like a month or so, and I won't start again until September. So can I go who I've got on?
Yeah, go, of course you can.
I've got Reg D. Hunter, he's sold out. Simon Evans, Joe Caulfield, Simon Munnery, Louise Porter, Paul Foote, Hal Cuttenden, Jaron Christmas, Andrew Maxwell, Abanderman, Gordon Southern, Aisha Hazarika, Daliso Chaponda, obviously, Robin Innes, Tom Stage, Sean Walsh, Marcus Brigstock, and there's just tons and tons on. So I hope the people of Walthamstow are grateful for it. Yeah. Because I've just been caned by the GDPR mailing this bullshit.
I know, right? That's ruining people's small businesses, isn't it, really? Yeah. Like, just like, how are you supposed to promote anything? Yeah, but like, if they don't respond, you delete them from your mailing list, right? You have to delete them, is that right?
No, they unsubscribe on their own.
Okay. So they unsubscribe or stay on. But if they don't message you back, then it means that you can still send them emails, right?
I don't think you can. No, you have to have an opt-in.
Okay.
But it's really, really complicated. There's been such a massive grey area. And if it's seen as legitimate business interest, you can keep them on.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've read up loads on it, and I still don't know really what the answer is. And I've had people messaging me various different viewpoints. Is anyone really going to grass up a small comedy club?
That's what I think.
It's X amount. Is it 4% of your turnover? So that'll be a Twix for me. They'll find me a Twix.
Yeah. But just another way to kind of monitor how many customers you have from a small sole trader or or a small business sort of thing, isn't it? Like, okay, this is how many people I promote to, this how many people are buying into whatever it is I sell. Because if you're like self-employed, you're just sort of like an enigma really in the tax system, aren't you? Really, this is just another. This is to kind of pigeonhole you, put you in a place to go. Okay, that's how many people you're getting. This is how much we should tax you. But in actual fact, it doesn't really work that way anyway. So it's just going to find it's just another piece of admin. They're just fucking shackled there themselves too, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean there is a point. There's two ways of looking at it. You go, okay, well, I reckon that MailChimp, which is what most people use, they're going to be making people redundant, man, because I pay £50 a month in fees, but that's going to drop down because it's stepped up. 100 people, it's only this amount, and then more than 100, it's that amount. Right. So yeah, it's going to decimate their business. But I mean, I suppose it means you've got a non-flabby list because the people who are on it really want to be on it. So, and there might be, because I had a couple of lists years ago. I had like my gig list on Yahoo, then I had my contacts list on Yahoo. My personal and Yahoo merged them. So I've got quite a messy list. So I've had to send out mine because I just think, oh well. Yeah. But that's just what you need when you're about to start promoting a comedy festival.
Yeah, true.
Just 2 weeks before it.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Totally awesome. Come on.
That's all about timing, isn't it? Yeah, it's really about timing.
That's it. Oh, yeah, look on the bright side. Oh.
Yeah, where's that then? God.
Yeah. You trained under Dave Thompson, right? Tinky Winky. Mm-hmm. So that was 20 years ago, right? Where was the course? Was it in Birmingham or...?
No, it was at Jackson's Lane Community Centre. I've been in London for 30 years.
Right.
Jackson's Lane Community Centre, that course had been running for a long time. People that did that course are people like Hattie Hayridge, Eddie Izzard, Jeff Green. I don't think it runs anymore, so he taught me for a couple of weeks, and then Rob Hitchmo took over. He doesn't do stand-up anymore, but he teaches at City Lit. And when he can't teach, I deputise for him. So I'm the stand-in stand-up teacher at City Lit. And I really enjoy it, actually, because I'm really harsh compared to Rob. Rob's really, he's a really nice bloke.
Yeah.
And I once went in, and I think they were doing character that week. When they find out it's not Rob, only half of them come in, so it's actually hard because you've got more space to fill for the rest of...
Yeah.
And I was like, why is that a character? And I was like, I wasn't here the last week, but I reckon that's exactly what you do every week.
Yeah.
You haven't even worn a coat, you haven't got a hat, you haven't got a newspaper under on, you haven't put a different accent on, but they really like it.
Yeah,
and I'm really harsh with them.
That's
it's really
it.
fun.
Destroy me.
Yeah. Tell me what it's really like.
Yeah,
build them up.
Yeah.
I'm going to recalibrate your soul. You won't like it at the time, but you'll be grateful.
So you do the improv as well, do you?
No, I don't do improv. I've tried a couple of improv, and it's not really for me.
Right.
And also, I don't really fit in with those people.
I do know what you mean, yeah, for sure. I did a couple of level 1 and 2 for an improv company, and I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. It got rid of the fear for me of just being up there and having nothing. Just go, okay, this is fine. You're just like, this is fine now. I'm totally happy to be comfortable up on stage. But the thing was, there was a sort of you don't get the vibe. You're like, oh, I'm trying something, and you're like, oh, it's all collaborative. You know when you're not fitting in that group, and it's like it's not everything you do, they shut you down, and everything they do, you're trying to help, but they're still shutting you down even though you're trying to help. And you're kind of like, no, this is, I don't know what it is, I don't know what I've done, but they're just not quite,
you know what it is, we're too working class to do improv.
Right, yeah.
Really are just way too working class.
I haven't had the drama or the school that had the drama kind of route that you can go through. Oh, you're really good at this, well, come over here and do the singing and everything.
They're all really lovely. But they're not going to be, furtively locked in a toilet at 2 o'clock in the morning at a party. They're those, they're quite bookish, aren't they? They're not rock and rollers like we are.
Yeah, that's right.
But they are lovely.
Yeah, that's true. They've got different strengths, isn't it? They've got the power of, material wealth. That's all they have.
But the thing is, whenever you're watching improv, I'll just write a fucking joke.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Saying that, when I watched Noise Next Door, they are brilliant. I mean, the first time I saw them was down in Brighton. I was living in Brighton at this point. And they said, oh, blah, 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 improv group. And I just rolled my eyes to the heavens. And then they blew me away. Do you know? And they're lovely, lovely guys. And I did a gig with Tim Houghton. You know that drive I did to Hull? This gig, they were so northern and working class. And they just hated him because he was posh. Right. They really, really... And yet, because he's got that improv background... He went into the audience and improved a few really, really funny bits, and they reluctantly liked him.
Yeah, totally.
He was literally... Because it was undeniably hilarious what he came up with. And he kind of dragged it out of them, and I just thought, fair play to you, mate. Do you know what I mean? They were really hard for him because he was posh. And I just thought, oh, you inverted snobs. But they weren't they weren't the brightest of audiences. It was really interesting, because I've never worked with Tom on a solo basis before. It was really interesting to watch. I really felt for him. But he did, he fought his corner, and he did all right, man.
What gig was that in Hull? It was a comedy lounge.
Yeah.
That cash converter is open a bit late. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, driving up there, I drove up there on my own, and I was like, all right, so who went on first? Freddie Farrell.
I always get those confused.
I know, he gets that all the time.
It's so easy done, isn't it? Both big lads.
Well, big lads, beard, and like tattoos and stuff. And like,
someone's going to have to change their name to Fred or Frederick, aren't they?
Yeah, totally. Or just F. Farrell.
Yeah.
So he went on first. They liked him, and like he did all right. And you had Danny
Deegan.
Is it Danny Deegan? Yeah, the good curly kind of black curly hair.
Is he a tall, skinny northern lad?
That's right, him.
Yeah.
He was on. Yeah, Danny Deegan. He was emceeing, and they were loving him. And then who was in the middle? Oh, I was in the middle, and and fuck it, they didn't like me. I got heckled for it straight away but I didn't even get a word out, and they started heckling. I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And so I didn't put him down. I was like, I just want to get through my 20-minute set. I'm going to do 20-minute sets. So I was like, okay. I said 3 minutes, getting a lukewarm response, and I was going. And in the end, I was like, no, just like, I was like, no, fuck this. And I was like, so let the rage boil up inside. I was like, no, do you know what, fuck it. And then just slammed the fucking mic stand down. And I was like, you know what, I've driven 4 fucking hours to get here. And this started being the insult comic that they wanted, because I'm not from there, you know. And they're like, and because they recognise that I was totally not of Hull, you know. I mean, it's not hard not to be of Hull, really, is it? You know, but like, so I was like, then,
well, you're obviously still like working class, like they are.
Yeah, I know, but they were like, no, you're not even from here. And a woman said to me, even if you're from like that area, they'll be like, no.
How parochial!
Big time. And so I was like, I slammed down anyway, and then I started fucking insulting the shit out of all of them. And I was like, and they were like, yeah, we love you now. They were like, yeah. I got a round of applause. I didn't expect to fucking have that, did I? And I kept going. And I was like, right. And then after every round of applause, I was like, oh, another one. Fuck, here we go.
Amazing. You turned it round.
I know. And then after like the 4th round of applause, I was like, yeah, 4 round of applause. I was like, fuck you guys. And then so I did my, like, when I had them at the end, I was like, I did my last joke, and I was like, yeah, so yeah, and then like just was like fucking having fun, because they were such pricks to me at the top, you know. I was like, I wasn't even, because I was just being nice. I was being too nice, you know. And I was like, oh, fuck them, right? You know, I thought I'd be nice and do my set and have fun, and like, no. And then I had 4 rounds of applause, and then I saw fucking Jonathan Mayer.
Oh yeah.
I fucking wanted just to decimate the room altogether, like just destroyed them, like just was horrible to them for 5 minutes, and then going, yes. Yeah. It was great. It was just really that's the room. That is.
I'd quite like to. I mean, because the gig got better as the night went on. It was one of those ones, and because I got there when the MC was really. I mean, he was coming up with some really, really good stuff, and he was really struggling, and they were just dicks for the first section, and I don't understand why. And then they kind of got better. There was a table that kept talking, and the owner kept going on and warning them, kept warning them, and they just wouldn't fucking. And he never threw them out. But they wouldn't shut up all night. And I'd quite like to go back to see. Maybe it was just an off night, or maybe that club is just like that. I don't know. Maybe they're just a bit odd. It
just feels that, you know, it just feels so combative, that room. You're like, okay, just got to go in there and just destroy.
I haven't seen a gig ever since Jongleurs shut down. I haven't seen a gig like that for ages. So I was like, oh my god, this is like doing a Jongleurs. It's like, I'm going to get my A game on. Fucking hell.
Yeah, lock and load and just go in and just be fucking. Why did you
and a 4-hour drive.
Yeah,
I think it was actually. I think it was more like 5.5 getting there. It was just that Friday. And then you get there and they're just being dicks to your mates, and you're like, why are you being dicks to my mates?
Yeah, and
But as long as I have a good gig, that's all right then.
But you're like, I mean, I said to them, because I don't know, it's like, not that I've worked on myself or anything, but I used to be really fucking angry, like, you know, real angry person, and that anger used to just come from anything as well. So now I'm like, oh no, I've come dealt with it now. I'm quite happy. I'd like to present a warm, you know, not false persona to this to the world, but, you know, just kind of, I feel happy now, you know what I mean? And so I was like, and it says, okay guys, and I showed them my phone to stand down. I was like, oh, you know, I'm trying to be happy, but you've made me this. Now you've seen who I really am.
You've given me too.
Totally.
All that therapy just fell away.
Exactly. Look, guys, you know, that's it. And that was it. I'm trying to find my happy place. Can't find it today, but you got this guy. You know, so
well, as long as it worked for you, that's
totally.
all that matters, isn't it, really?
And the guy that came up to me after the gig was like, said, oh, Winter, I think you should just, like, you know, be that angry person all the time. It's like, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't, you know, it's just destructive. But yeah, so, fuck it, yeah, that was a tough. But we drove to that gig in Newquay, didn't we?
It was Newquay, wasn't it?
Fucking, was it 10
It wasn't
hours?
really a gig, was it? Does that gig still run?
It did run one more time, and then the guy that ran the one after that did a legger with the money. Legged it. It just
What do you mean?
Did a runner with the money or something like that? Something he just didn't pay. Just he closed his business and disappeared.
Oh, you mean the bar?
No, not the bar, but that bar. The guy that paid, because we got paid through another person, didn't we? We got paid through like a sort of entertainment company, and the guy that run the entertainment company.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just kind of did a legger or something. But fucking, there was a B&B after we did that first one, and it was like, fuck, right, well, I mean, who drive 5 hours and 5 hours back, 10-hour round trip? Yeah, Winter's crazy enough to do that. I'll do that, no problem. Yeah, fuck, it was crazy. It was ridiculous.
Who were we on with?
We were on with Connor Drum, and we had a couple of guys in the middle. I've fucking forgotten the names of them.
But they made their own way there, didn't we?
Yeah, they did.
The three of us went down in the car.
That's right,
That was a proper road trip, wasn't it?
Big time, yeah.
And the fact that the gig was just...
Oh, tougher.
How would you describe that gig to our listeners? How would you really explain it?
Okay. A Dorito-sized stage in like about 100 yards from where the audience is.
It's like a shop. It's like doing a gig in a shopping centre, on a skateboard in a shopping centre. Yeah. It was just pissing in the wind. But it kind of worked, actually, because, I mean, you worked your arse. Bless you. You really took one for the team that night. Yeah. You know, and people just think that you can stick stand-up anywhere. They put no thought into what. When I've started, my stock answer to people now is that comedy is like a delicate flower. You can't shove it anywhere. It has to thrive. It can only thrive in certain conditions. Otherwise, it'll die.
Like an orchid. There
Absolutely, like an orchid. It's like an orchid.
That's going to go on Instagram.
It's like a blue orchid. And, you know, I've been asked to do various gigs, and I go, and it's like little corporates or something. I go, okay, what's the venue? What else have you got on? What's the running order? And I've messaged back and gone, you don't want stand-up at 11:30 at night. You say it'll be 11, it'll be more like midnight because everything runs over. By midnight, everyone will be absolutely slaughtered. Yeah. And having stand-up when no one really wants it will be mortifying for everybody concerned, and it won't work. What you want at that time is music. Yeah. And the guy came back to me an hour later and went, do you know what, looking at this, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, I did myself out of a gig, but who cares? If the pain of that kind of thing. And sometimes you just have to go, right, how much do I need the money? Versus how much is it going to hurt me doing this gig?
How much of my soul will I lose from this, you know?
Exactly.
I've only got a little bit left. I've got the tiniest
I've got to be really protective of my soul.
Yeah.
And someone the other day wanted to do, it was someone local to him, messaged me, said, I want to do a festival, and we want to have stand-up workshops and a stand-up performance. And what we want to do, we want to get some local comedians. Do you know who the local comedians are? Yeah, I know all the local comedians. And we want to pair you up with one other person and have you do stand-up in their home. No! I had to kind of be gentle and go, look, I don't want to piss on your bonfire, but these are the reasons why this won't work. Yeah. And you will not, I can guarantee, you won't get anyone that will agree to this. Yeah. You won't get a single comic that will do this. I actually ran it past Maureen Younger and Jerry Kay, and they went, count me out, I'm not fucking doing that. Yeah. I'll do it for £2,000, but I'm not doing that. Yeah. And he was like, I still want to meet up and see if it'll be viable. And I went, okay, imagine, because he was a theatre director. I said, imagine if somebody asks your theatre company to perform Shakespeare on the back of a flatbed truck on the M6 at 80 miles an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then he came back, I don't think I can make that. I mean, we're not going to do the comedy.
It's the same as you say, if you start at like 11 o'clock, it was that gig, it was 11 o'clock it starts at, right? It's never going to work, it's too late. But it's like, even at 9
not when
o'clock...
you've been on after a raffle and, and a choir and speeches and blah, 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 blah. No, if you're going to have it on first.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know?
So they're fresh, they're awake at least. They've got to think, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what do you do when is that all you do now? Is it absorb everything else in your life and take like
I do that and I run a gig
infection?
and that takes nearly every single second. I mean, I've been doing for the last week, I've been doing 17-hour days because I've been working all day doing promotion stuff and, going on radios and, doing PR stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm gigging in the evening and it's, this week I've done 3 unpaid gigs, I've done 2 new material nights, and tonight I'm doing a benefit. Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be doing new material again, and then I've got 2 paid gigs. That's literally every second of my day taken care of, really. Haven't even made it to yoga. I'm just too busy to get a yoga and do down dog.
Yeah, so that's so you do yoga when you can finally get to it, right?
If I can get, I mean, I tried to go there today and the traffic was so bad I had to turn back.
Oh, man.
And then I went and took some flyers around the local area instead. So how do you promote your gig then?
Luckily, I lucked out with my gig because the guy that has the venue does all the promotion.
No way.
I'm such a.
And you get a full crowd every week.
We have had a full crowd up until the last 2 months, but because of the good weather, get about maybe 25 in. It's only a 33-seater room.
Oh, okay.
So it's last couple of days we had about 5 short of like a full house.
That's pretty good.
What you think of doing the same thing as what you got, doing like top acts doing previews and trying to get them down because it's only Tuesday night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So trying to get the draw in, and that's it.
And people are desperate for previews, and they'll do, everyone wants stage time.
That's it. So we're hopefully doing that next year. But I'm lucky, I don't have to do any promotion. I do the posters. I do the getting the acts, and then and he does all the promotion. He goes, well, we've got these people on. Here it is, so it's not as bad. It's way better.
So what else do you do apart from... Because how many times a week are you gigging roughly?
I'm gigging about 4 or 5 times a week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so but I'm trying to... But most of my stuff is from MCing. And so, because I went full-time 2 years ago and just surviving.
Yeah.
But it's...
takes a while to build it up.
Yeah, that's it. But you're just trying to get people to trust me, because after the horrendous gigs I did at the start, that's... you're just like, oh, God, no, guys, I've got better.
I'm always jealous... I mean, you should have said in Ireland and done that, but I'm always really jealous of acts that come over from Australia and they're already fully formed. And oh, he's brilliant. And you go, he was probably shit for 10 years.
Exactly.
That really annoys me.
Yeah. I did my first hour first 45 last year was a narrative show. Oh, I'm not doing a narrative
show. It was a what show?
A narrative show about me.
A narrative show.
Oh, and I can't do that anymore. And it was just like, it's fucking horrible. It was just like, I mean, it worked.
Did you talk about getting rid of your anger? What was it called?
Susan was like, man, of course you did. And it was called A Side Effect.
That's good.
Yeah, did it in the marquee. Because it was in the yurt. It'd been amazing because it felt like a fringe show. But it was in the marquee in the Three Sisters. The tent from
the Nosebleed.
Yeah, and the Nosebleed one day. That was a tough show.
That's a busy beer garden, but you've just got thousands of voices, and tents aren't soundproof, are they?
No, they're not, and also not bomb-proof. When the audience found out when a walkie-talkie went off during the show about 5 times, right? All the terrorist sort of measures were in, and everyone, that's in the back of people's minds. So as soon as the walkie-talkie goes off and the security measure goes, what's that for? Everyone panics. Everyone freaked the fuck out, man. I was like, oh. And they're really on edge, because you've got all the bollards at the top of the Royal Mile, haven't you? For people, vans driving through, oh my God, something's kicked off, So that happened 3-4 times, and that was a tough gig. And the other time I had a reviewer in, and it was going great. On the morning of when I was flying, I was like, that's a big 80 barrels in the courtyard, And I was like, oh fucking hell. And then so I got into it. I could see the reviewers enjoying stuff. Luckily I knew my shit down. I was like, I fucking know this show. It's fine, and I could go at it, tank at it, keep them on board, and then drown out the music and everything. But then next thing, all the beer barrels, Kong, like this.
Oh, mate.
So I was getting gonged off every 5 seconds. So I was like, fuck. So I was like, great. So I wasn't happy.
By Coopers.
I know, that's it. I mean, so it was one of those things, but 3 stars. Read like a 4. But it was fine. But it was just one of those things, But I did got out of the way, and I don't have to pick that scab anymore. Of oh no, this is like me, and then at the end. But it had a really nice. I love I really enjoyed the arc of it, and there's so many references in it. Ancient references, to Alien. and because and then loads of bits at the top, and like just I really enjoyed the people who got it, you know, and people that weren't on board go, oh, you don't really have much of a problem, but I know, but it's inside. You know,
I had a Megadeth reference in one of my shows, and one of my old mates from the 90s when we used to party a lot, she howled at that. I was like, yeah, she gets it.
Yes,
it's really nice when people get those like really slightly niche references. It happens like once every so often. It's worth leaving it in, isn't it?
Totally, my people. You want more, my person.
My tribe.
Totally, that's it. Go to my next show, and I had one person came and was like, "Oh, I really loved all your references. I mean, you loved all of them. Oh my god, you're amazing." So
that's why I always like watching Will. What's his name? The guy from Chelmsford. Will. He really likes My Little Pony. Anyway, he always... And he's quite young. He's a lot younger than me. Yeah. But his references are kind of my age group, which is really bizarre. I remember just watching and going, you've got too many references for the audience to understand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I get every single bit of it, and I loved it.
Yeah. The reference thing is like... I was like, okay, I'm going to try and ditch all the references now. When I first started this, to say, you know, the most important thing is be yourself. That's the worst advice ever for comedy. Be yourself. No one wants to see that dark... part of your soul go, oh guys, and you go too far and you go, this is me. No, do you ever find that? Do you ever say that to you? Be yourself. No,
definitely don't be yourself. You, honestly, I don't want people to know the real me.
No,
Jesus,
God,
fuck
no.
that shit.
They don't have to be really judged. Be vulnerable. No, I don't want them to see
that
person.
No. I won't even wear a dress on stage. That's how vulnerable I don't want to be.
What's the worst bit of advice that anyone's ever given you?
In life or in stand-up?
Well, it could be both. Go for either. Just go with life first.
No one's ever really given me really good advice. So my cousin, who's younger than me, said to me, if you're not sure what to do, don't do anything. When I was having a bit of a crisis of like, what am I going to do in my life? Should I carry on doing stand-up or not? I don't know what to do. And I spent 3 months in America because I've got cousins over there. And she said that to me, and she was kind of right, really. I remember once hearing my dad say to my brother, be nice to everybody, trust no one, which is really cynical. Which is quite... What's the best bit of advice anyone's ever given you?
I think the best bit of advice anyone's ever given me, I think slow down. Just relax. Take a breath.
Yeah. That is great advice. And I'm very much... of that school. I'm a bit scared I'm going to speed up because it'll make it better, and it does the exact opposite.
Full energy at it. I'm just going to go drive through it. That's it. Yeah. That's the same. I'm like, relax into it, enjoy it. But you know, when you're shitting yourself at a gig, you can't enjoy it really. You just have to get through the fucking thing. That's it. If I dump enough energy on this, it should be fine. No, that's not how it works. That's it. That's it. Oh yeah, that was one.
So how long have you been going then?
About 7 years now.
Oh right, you're a baby really. And what were you doing before this?
I was working TV. Back-end TV stuff. Oh, like behind-the-scenes stuff, like sort of transmission.
Oh, you told me this before.
Yeah.
I'm very nosy.
No, sorry, you can interview me as well. It's fine.
No, because I used to work in TV, so I was a production assistant. I was a camera assistant.
Oh, nice. The fun things. The production.
Do you know what? I really, really enjoyed being part of a crew.
Yeah.
I used to work in animation. I worked on Crapston Village. You probably won't remember this. No. It was mid-90s, and it was on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Adult animated sitcom. And I kind of started stand-up because of that, because the girl who wrote it, her sister had done a course with Hattie Hayridge and was friends with her.
Yeah.
Hattie Hayridge had done this stand-up course at Jackson's Lane, and that's how I found out about the course.
Yeah.
Literally 2 months ago, they did an animation little celebration of women in animation at the BFI. Sarah, the director, tagged me in. The cameraman turned up, the cameraman I used to assist. Hattie Hayridge was there, her sister was there. So basically my route into stand-up was we're all in one place at one time. And it's like, this is because of these women. That's how I started stand-up. So it's just this weird like little connection thing.
Oh, nice. So how long would you do that for?
It was like a 7-week course, and it was just 2 hours a week.
Yeah.
Darryl Martin did it, and Paul Foote was there the first week, but he didn't come back because he was already gigging at that point.
Right. I mean, as in, like, how long did you do the animation? And, like,
the animation. I worked in animation for about 4 years, maybe, in total, because I started off as a runner at an animation company, and then I did Crapston Villas, and that was like a year, and then I did a bit of filling, then I did a couple of, like, freelance things, and then I'd already sort of started stand-up at the end of Crapston Villas anyway, so then I just started doing that.
It's tough, though. I mean, like, especially doing I mean, I did, like, I did the same, like, the amount of work experience I had to do to get that fucking transmission job, I swear to God.
Really?
I had about 6 work experience placements, and I never got like the call back. I was like, but the sixth one, I'm like, oh fuck you! Fucking give me a job!
So did you do a media studies degree?
I did. I did degree in. I did my degree in Wolverhampton.
You went to Wolverhampton Uni. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So did you live in Whitmarines?
I lived in Whitmarines, and I lived in Asda. You know where the Randall Lines. I stayed in the halls of residence. You know Randall Lines.
Opposite the Molyneux?
Yeah, that's right, there.
Yeah.
I stayed there for like 3 years, and then I lived in
halls of residence for 3 years?
Yeah, for about 3 years.
You baby.
No, but like, I lived with my girlfriend at the time, then at Whitmarines, and then...
What road were you on in Whitmarines?
Oh...
Because I lived on Bright... Because I went... After my first year in London, I went back to Wolverhampton, but I didn't live with my parents. I went and lived with a friend in Whitmarines for 3 months on Bright Street.
Okay, where's the... There's a... Okay, right, this is not going to narrow it down at all. You know when you go... into Whitmarines, right, and you go around that corner, go past the chip shop, around the corner. You know what I mean? There's like a chip shop on when you go.
Is it Dunstan Lane?
Yeah, Dunstan Lane. You go down Dunstan Lane, and you know there's like all those real new brick before you hit the high rise. You go take a right, and you go around that other corner.
God, I can't remember.
It's right near the pub, running near the pub.
Right. Okay.
There's a pub right in the centre of Whitmarines. You know that there's a.
Oh, what was that pub called?
But yeah, it was. But I was just there. I stayed there.
See, when I was doing my A levels, I had friends that lived in a shared house around Whitmarines. So, because I didn't want to be at home,
of course.
So I would just nip. I had a little Fiat 126 car that used to run on fumes, and I would just nip to their house. So I spent a lot of time just knocking around in Whitmarines, and that's why after my first year at uni in London, I went back to Wolverhampton, and I just stayed in Whitmarines. I didn't go back to my parents' house. I just didn't want to be at home.
Because I lived in Wolverhampton for about 7 years.
You never did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh my god! That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. So, did you go to the lighthouse?
Oh yeah, of course.
My best mate, my oldest best mate, from like we've been best mates for 42 years. That's how long we've known each other. Right. She runs that place.
Holy shit! Yeah.
She's the CEO.
What's her name?
Kelly Jeffs.
Because a couple of friends of mine who were like doing the course, the media course with me,
they did training courses at Lighthouse.
That's right,
well,
they did. They did a guy called Steve Emerson and Ollie Carmody, Matt Sullivan. All these boys did like training stuff in there, and there was like a production company called Ballistic Productions.
Okay.
They were like a big Indian music video production house, you know.
Wow.
And they did all that stuff with them. It's like I was like, and so, but I'd say during this time I got all this work experience shit. I couldn't get anything right, and I got stuck in Wolverhampton for a few years, and I worked for the university in the gym place downstairs, you know. And I managed to get that. I thought, that looks like a fucking easy job. I want that job because I had that because they got on the weekends, and then I'd worked in the. Do you remember Decadence? Is that a bar? It's a bar on the corner, yeah.
Did it keep changing its name?
Yeah, it did.
It's one of those places, isn't it?
It was like because it was like, oh, okay, we'll try this one, and then all like all.
So what years were you? What were you in Wolverhampton?
I was in Wolverhampton from 2000 to about 2007 or so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
You know what? I like Wolverhampton. It's a good sized town.
Yeah.
It's easy to know because I mooch about Wolverhampton. Anyone who looked a bit odd, I would know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, because you just get to know all these people. You go to the same nightclubs, and and it was such a good fun. Like just knocking around.
Did
there.
you go to the City Bar then? You know the City Bar on.
I don't think it was there when I was knocking around there.
But yeah,
we used to go and drink in Chapel Ash. The Combermere, that was kind of, and the Alex were kind of they're slightly out of town.
Yeah, just down the hill.
Towards, the Techno Road. There's a Shell garage on the Techno Road that I used to work at.
Right. Yeah.
So when anyone, we had a mate who used to run a club in the Connaught Hotel in the basement, called it Sensiteria. It was just really fun when I was a teenager because I knew all the older, cooler Wolverhampton punks. They were a bit older than me. I used to lie and say I was staying at my friend's house because they would have married couples. That was all right to stay at theirs, but actually I was off at some bloke's house.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you were in Wolverhampton for 7 years. So which bit did you like most about Wolverhampton? Which did you like the least?
I liked I used to go to like the Canal Club down there. It was great fun. And I worked Casa. Do you remember Casa?
What's Casa?
It's like, it was a bank just next to that hairdressers. You know where the Royal London is? The Royal London, the
pub on the corner?
The pub on the corner, yeah.
Yeah.
Got the hairdressers on the side of it, and you got the bank that used to be an old bank. It used to be a bank.
Oh, okay.
And it's now like a Wetherspoons or something like that, but it used to be like a cheesy wine bar. And so I did that the weekends as well as the gym job as well. But so just fuck yeah, man. So I did, but like because I started like comedy when I was when I was living in Wolverhampton, like, and I was like, okay, because I knew I would want to do some fucking performance, because in Ireland they never kind of went...
So did you kind of meet Paul Savage in those days?
Paul Savage? No, Joe, I did meet Oski. Do you know Oski?
Oaksy.
Oaksy, yeah, you know, who does the artist now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gigging when
he was running gigs in Leamington Spa, wasn't he?
That's right, that's right. And so he was there, and like a couple of others as well that I saw on the circuit, but like, I was fucking terrible. I was like, I did the comedy course, which was run by a guy called Jack Milner.
Where was that?
That was in the East 15 acting school. In East,
well, it's not far from here.
That's right. I got the train down from.
You would commute to go to a comedy course.
From Hemel. That's right. Yeah, to do a comedy course. Came down from Wolverhampton to London, and
oh my god, that must have cost you a fortune.
It was like 20 quid a pop, and I was like, fuck. And sometimes Virgin trains wouldn't make it, and I was like, shit, I fucking missed out on this. But I did the showcase, right? Whole hyper anyway, as I am still a little bit, but I was even more then. So I went down to the course, and I was engaged at the time with this girl, stupidly. Oh god! I was like 23, right? And I was like, oh my god, this is the thing that I've got. All I've got, like, I was kind of, the time when you're like broken, you're like, yeah, sure, I'll take anything that's going to get me through.
The low self-esteem relationship.
Yeah, totally. That was it. It was one of those low moments, like, yeah, sure, anything, hold on to something.
Oh, bless you.
So what that like, the worst idea. And then so she came with her friend, right, and she drank a lot of vodka, fucking hammered, right. I was supposed to do 5 minutes. I did 20 minutes. I was like, fuck's sake. So, I just went mental. I was like, wow, I was just enjoying myself so much. Like, whoa. And I got another gig. And then from that, and then it was in the Prince of Wales pub. I think it's I'm not sure where it is actually.
In Wolverhampton?
No, it's in London somewhere. I had to come back straight
there's
back
loads
down
of Prince of Wales pubs in London. There's millions of them.
It's in Stratford area, I think. Came down to that one and died hard. Died the worst,
Ouch.
And it was tough. Anyway, me and that fiancée, we didn't work out. But I wrote a song about her, put it into like a 10-minute set.
It's all material.
It was all material. And then so put it into this, and I thought, invite all her friends, because that's what you do. And then so invite all her friends to the gig, and it was in the little Civic when I had a gig there.
Yeah, I do remember. I did it.
And yeah, it was, and I was like, and I was in the middle spot, and Matt Kirshen was closing, and I can't remember who was emceeing. Anyway, all my mates came, and like her friends came as well. It was great. So I was like, shit, I've got to nail this. And my mate Steve Emerson I was talking about a minute ago, who did the course in Wolverhampton, he was a musician. I was like, hey man, can you do a wild track for me, because I can't play the guitar. So I said, yeah, sure. So I got a fucking inflatable guitar, and I was like, fucking, this is my 4th gig, and so I did that, and then I did the song, and I knew the song down. I was like, I've got to nail this fucking gig, right? If I don't nail this gig, it's going to be really embarrassing.
So you put loads of pressure on yourself.
Oh, like, absolutely. But I was like, and I nailed it as best I could of being in my 4th gig. And I did well. And they were like, and then the thing is, when you do well, and the acts that are seasoned pros come to you, go, got a lot of friends here tonight, haven't you? And they're like, fuck you.
Artist and crowd.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. They were like totally like, yeah, because I really felt for this. You could feel the emotion in it, like, I was like, fucking fuck her, and it was just like, it was great, and it was just really fun, and it was like 3 verses, and but hey, they hung out to the 3rd verse, fair play to them.
Bless.
But but that was my Wolverhampton. And I did that, and I did that.
It's a shame the little Civic doesn't run anymore.
Does it not? No,
I don't think so.
Cav comedy, wasn't it? Cav.
Yeah, well, because I really annoyed the staff there, because they had the room set up really weird, because they had normal seats at the back and then tall tables and stools in front of them.
God.
And I said to the bloke, I went, these need to be moved to the back. And then I wandered off to the backstage or something, and a friend of mine, who was also part of Wolves' crew as well, I think he used to work for Stage Wolves, which was the kind of the freelance crewing company that used to work at the Civic. He went up to my mate and went, well, that's bloody telling me what to do. And my mate went, well, she's got a point, hasn't she?
Yeah.
If they're not going to be able to see, it's just really obvious. Oh, God. Totally. Oh, so the thing that annoys... What did you not like about Wolverhampton?
There was a lot of kind of muggings and shit. I got my room done over twice. When I was
never?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, fucking yeah. Like, in the halls of residence, like, all the Asian boys would be like... this is all true now, right? All the Asian boys... Just side disclaimer. All the Asian boys would be like... one guy come from down from Scotland and kicked his own door in. and then like gave all all his electrical shit to his mate downstairs, and went, "Oh no, my room's been done over. Call the police," and got all the insurance money. All these boys were scamming the fuck out of it on the halls of residence. And I was like, oh man. And so there I got like a couple of grand in the pocket, but I got my room done over twice, so that wasn't fun. But like that was it. But it's a city, and it's how it is, I guess.
I rarely meet people that have lived in Wolverhampton.
I liked it though.
I find it quite fascinating.
I lived in Codsall as well. I lived in Codsall for a little bit as well. It was so nice. But I found Wolverhampton, everyone was so friendly and just down to earth, and that's it.
A friend of mine, Ian Stone, stand-up, he was recording a little kind of documentary for Radio 4 about football fans. So him and the producer, they went up to Wolverhampton. He rang me on the way up and he was like, I'm going to Wolverhampton, we're going to meet some Wolves fans and we're going to get the coach up to Carlisle. Right? And I was like, all right then, you'll have a nice time. He's like, oh, I'm a bit nervous. Honestly, don't. Everyone's fine. And then he rang me back at 1 o'clock in the morning. And he went, why is everyone from Wolverhampton so nice? Yeah. I went, because they all know it's a shithole and they've got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
And he said, everyone on the coach, they were all so lovely and so friendly and they had the best time.
Yeah, that's it. Just down to earth, just normal.
Yeah. There's absolutely no airs or graces. No. I mean, they can be slightly basic at times. Mm-hmm. I tell you what does annoy me about the Midlands. Maybe it's not a specific Midlands thing, and I know it's kind of a lot of my friends who are also from my town. That can't be arseness. There's a very kind of lackadaisical attitude.
CBA.
Completely. Even when I was younger, and it was like, should we go and do this? No, can't be arsed. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to come to London when I was younger, because it was just like, there was just more going on, really.
Yeah. And you were from Wolverhampton Central, like the city?
No, I'm actually from a small town on the outskirts called Willenhall. It's in between Wolverhampton and Walsall. But it's got a Wolverhampton postcode, it's got a Wolverhampton phone code as well. But weirdly, it's actually within the borough of Walsall. It used to be Staffordshire. I don't know, it all moves around, doesn't it? So yeah, my parents moved down to Walsall when my brother was 2. He's 5 years older than me, because my dad got offered a job down there. They were in Glasgow. My dad couldn't get any work, and he was a qualified meat inspector. And he got offered a job in Walsall that came with a flat, and he had a young family, and so they moved down to there, and I've ended up with this ridiculous fucking accent.
Yeah.
Bastards. And my mum always threatened me with elocution lessons, and my accent wasn't quite as broad when I was growing up, because obviously I had that kind of slight different influence of my parents. But the minute I went to comprehensive school, it was just like, right, talking like this, and my mum hated it. Like, well, don't fucking live it, don't make us live it then, if you don't want me to speak like this. She always had a go at me about my accent, and it's just really unfair, do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Well, it's your fault, isn't it?
Of course, you're going to just get morphed into where you live, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
It's like, because when I did my accent show, it's called, where you fit in with your peers, it's called code switching.
Right.
Or accommodation, so you accommodate their voice. It's like when people speak in their telephone voice and all that kind of nonsense. Or in layman's terms, not getting your head kicked in.
Yeah,
Because my brother had a Scottish accent, even though he moved down to Midlands when he was 18 months old. Because you learn to speak from your family, don't you? And we had no other family. We had no other... So it's like just literally my mum and dad and my brother. So when he went to school, he had a Glaswegian accent, but he got beaten up for that. Oh. So what he did, he would speak with it, and he still does it to this very day. He speaks with an English accent outside the house and a Scottish accent inside the house. Because he lives in Newcastle now. Well, he lives in Gateshead because he likes his women like he likes his crosswords. Really easy.
Yeah.
So he'll come to gigs when I'm gigging up north, in the northeast, and he'll speak to me in a Scottish accent and to everybody else in an English accent.
Yeah, right.
And he just... I don't even know if he does it even consciously anymore, because he's done it for so long.
Yeah.
And at home, if he answered the phone, he would just literally do a kind of like grunt, and then work out who was on the other end before he switched into whatever accent.
Yeah, little safety.
Yeah.
That's it. Wow, little tester. Who's this?
But when we went on holiday to Ireland, I was hanging about with a girl called Clara McGann from Dublin.
Oh.
I had an Irish accent for 2 weeks, and
Great.
it stuck. So for 3 days when I was home, I was still speaking an Irish accent, and my mum loved it.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Got our child back. We've got our child back. She's not from Wolverhampton anymore.
She's new enough. She's slightly more Celtic than she was.
Oh, yeah.
So but I've got a cousin who lives around the corner actually, and I never knew I had any family in London.
Oh.
And it wasn't until I'd been living in this flat for 3 years that my mum went, "I think your dad's cousin lives in the corner for you, Susan." I'm like, "What?" and she'd been here since the 70s. So the whole time I was in London, miserable. When I first moved here, I had family here and I never knew.
Man, I got family that because my father's Sri Lankan. I know, right?
Is it really?
Yeah, you'd never know, right? It's crazy.
It's proper not.
I
You
know.
look like you've been on a sunbed.
I've got on my mother, like, you know, the colouring and everything like that. It's like
Pale Celtic skin.
Yeah, that's it. And she was like determined. It's like, no,
those jeans going in my belly.
That's it.
Brilliant.
It put me in the fridge.
Where did your parents
Put me in the
meet
fridge
then?
and everything. You're not getting that near that heater.
yeah. Where did they meet?
They met in London. Yeah, and then moved back to Ireland. Yeah.
How terribly modern.
I know.
What, did they meet at work? I want to know the story.
I think just out and out. That was it. Just
Were they
out and about. Yeah.
Whereabouts you're from Cork?
Cork, yeah.
So what were the Cork people like? Are they quite right? Because the Irish are generally...
Yeah, well...
They're kind of... The stereotype is the Irish are racist.
Mm-hmm.
Is there truth in that?
It depends it depends how many of you there are. If there's a big group of you, they are. But if there's only one or two, then it's like, oh, they're individual. Oh, you're unique. You're like sort of like a unicorn. You know what I mean?
What? So like a big group of Sri Lankans?
Yeah. They're threatening, but like one is like,
so it's like a gang mentality.
Hello. Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? So you like because there was one black kid in my class.
Yeah.
When I went to school, and like he was like. You know, he was a king,
really?
but like I was like, all right, yeah. And so I was just like, but so when I was there, I was like, oh, well, fucking, you know, that was it. But it didn't make fuck all difference. No, but my dad's Sri Lankan. It's like, yeah, you don't look it, you know. So,
yeah, doesn't count.
You're not white enough, even though you're not white enough. You know, so it was like one of those things.
So what's your phone
under? It's like because the Dutch settled in Sri Lanka.
Mixed race Dutch Sri Lanka.
I think further like great grandfather was like I think Dutch or something like that. You know?
Oh right, okay.
And so you know,
kind of a bit of a Heinz 57 variety, aren't you?
Fucking absolutely,
fantastic.
And everything, you know. So I thought I'd go see my family in Sri Lanka this year because I thought, well, look, fuck it, you know, I'm getting older and they're getting older as well because my cousin was like, come on, visit. So okay, so we'll see how it goes. And they're all fucking Christians over there. I was like, bollocks! I wanted to be like Hindu or Muslim or Buddhist.
The cool religions,
like,
not Christian.
You don't want
nothing more nerdy than a Christian.
So
Jesus.
boring. It's like just like you do biscuits and fucking tea and
no booze.
Well, they kind of do drink a little bit, but not as much as you'd want them to. You know what I mean? Just not as much.
I've heard the Sri Lankans are a really, really friendly bunch of people.
Myself and my wife went over and like because my wife's Gujarati, right? Gujarati Indian.
Really?
Yeah. And so you know, and so I was like,
so funny.
So trying to go back.
It's in the genes. You return to form.
Totally.
Oh, your kids must be gorgeous. Have you got kids?
I've got 2 kids. I got.
Let me see a picture. They're beautiful.
I don't have any pictures of them on my phone.
What?
Actually. No,
what did you tell
That's my wife.
Dad?
That's my wife.
Oh, she's a stunner.
Sri Lankan hospitality was great. We're getting our meals and everything. My cousin, she's like 50. She's really nice, but and my nieces and stuff were around, and then they're bringing us food out. Right, there was a really small table, probably about the size of maybe about double the size of this. And there was not room for 2 people to sit at it, right? So there's like standing next to us and that. And then for the first meal, she brought us out boiling hot soup. Now it's nearly 40 degrees, right? Nearly 40 degrees the heat, and we're like sitting. There's no air conditioning, and there's no fan in the kitchen. So they're sitting there having this soup, this boiling molten soup, right?
Molten lava.
And then me and my wife were just like trying to eat the soup, and then we got like some ice cold water here next to us, and my cousin's like, "Don't know how you can eat that. Don't you have like your soup like this as well?" "No, we have it cold." I was like,
why were they giving it you hot then? Because they think that English people eat hot. British people eat hot food.
We're cold inside because you know we need the heat to keep our whole like digestion and metabolism stuff going, I guess.
No, I don't want to die of fucking sunstroke.
That's it.
Sunstroke in a bowl.
That is it. And I was like, it was like, so me and my wife were laughing her tits off later on. I was like, oh my god, that's fucking ridiculous. Like she's giving us everything boiling hot. It's like, you know, everything was just like, because she has this idea that we're from like fucking an ice planet somewhere, you know. We need the heat, otherwise we'll die.
I don't know how you can eat that. That's
hilarious. Like orchids, right? We'll just like, we need a special treatment, you know, otherwise we'll just wither and die. But it was like, we're pissing ourselves. It's like, oh man, this is ridiculous, but it's so funny. Went to an elephant sanctuary. It isn't really an elephant sanctuary. It's
I love elephants.
Yeah, me
They're
too.
my favourite animal.
They're great, huh?
Yeah.
I used to collect them. When I was a kid, I used to collect.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, loads.
Brilliant.
Of them. And for some reason, I had one random giraffe as well. I don't know why. I just, you know, so maybe someone would get the memo.
Masqueraded as
only joking. I'm just an elephant. Yeah, but it was like I have a long neck, not a nose. But come on, that's the same thing. It's still a neck. I'm sorry. So that was in the corner. But I was like, but yeah, it was really weird. Went to this elephants orphanage that wasn't an orphanage. It was like just like a place where they took elephants to like so they get money. Like, you know, they go, here's the elephant orphanage, but it was like the elephants were like just being paraded to basically, do you want to feed the
Thing
elephant?
is, I mean, how do you check if an elephant's an orphan? How do you check?
That's it. It's never going to say, is it?
They don't come with paperwork.
No, that's this exactly. And so everything was like a massive rip-off. Like, I mean, you got properly screwed. If you ever go to Sri Lanka, do a package deal, fuck it, because that is the only way you'll know that you're not going to get shafted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. They're real. I was like, after a while, you're in a place where and you start to look at everyone go, okay, you're talking to me, but what the fuck do you want? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're like, starting to get a bit cynical like that. You're like, oh man, it's so frustrating. So I was like, all right, but we did that. We spent.
Did they do decent taka dal in Sri Lanka?
We had, the food was pretty good. I found sometimes there they just went, okay, let's just put every spice in this, and then it was like, okay, so it's one of those, but wow, it was a good experience to meet the family and kind of catch up.
I love taka dal. It's my favourite food in the world, and I've been trying to find a recipe that I can make at home.
Yeah, and
I just can't get it like the takeaways do. There are loads of online groups on Facebook for Waltham Forest.
Yeah,
and there's one called Walthamstow Residents News, and it was started during the riots.
Right. So
people could share information, blah blah blah. But now there's like 23 members, and of course Walthamstow is so diverse. I put out a shout out going, "Can anyone give me a decent recipe for taka dal?" So I've got 20 printed out, and I'm going to systematically go through them and film me making these taka dals to see if I can get one that actually is the one that I'm looking for. But I've been trying for years to try and get there, and I just can't do it. I've never managed it. I think the key might be to use shitloads of ghee, which is if you're Scottish and you're prone to high cholesterol as it is.
You started a riot. So how the fuck did you start a riot? What happened there?
Oh, God. We'd been to the Garage, which was a club, and it's kind of still there. It's shut down in the meantime and reopened. The Garage used to be called the Town and Country Club. You know the Forum in Kentish Town?
Right, yeah.
Big gig venue. That used to be called the Town and Country Club. So they had a little sister club called the Town and Country 2 near Highbury Corner. And I'll tell you who used to run that. Josh Jones of Cosmic Comedy.
Right.
She used to run that. They had comedy on there years ago, but every Saturday night there was an indie club rather. So I'd go there for my birthday every year without fail. Right, we're going to the Garage. Go to the Garage. Go to the Garage. Drink loads of K-cider. Come on, go to the Garage. Fucking dancing to Nirvana. And me and a friend of mine, me and three mates of mine, including the bass player from Sham 69, we all went back to my mate's house on Holloway. Me and Kermit, the bass player, we'd gone on ahead, so we're kind of... You know those estates where it's like 4 levels and they've all got balconies and it all faces in, the proper London estates. And we'd gone on ahead, so we were up on the balcony and I could hear what I thought was my friend Kerry in the bottom yakking away because she had a kind of London accent. So this is like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? So I shout, and it was just after 24-hour drinking had come in, so everyone's licences were later, so it was like really late. So I shouted down to her, "Shut your fucking mouth!" like this, thinking it was my mate. It fucking wasn't, was it? And then I heard someone go, "Who the fuck are you talking to?"
Oh, no.
And then, just after I shouted that, the lift door opened and Kerry was in the lift. "Who the fuck are you talking to?" Then someone else started shouting at her, then someone else started shouting at him, then he started... So all these people dotted around, I put the bomb in, and then I went, "Fucking quick, get in the flat!" So I fucking ran in the flat, right? Yeah. And then we went into the front room so we couldn't hear the back end.
Yeah.
Passed out drunk, blah, blah, blah. Following day, the guy who lives in the flat, he'd gone to the Waitrose on Holloway Road, and a woman on the till lives on that estate. She said, "Did you see all that chopping on the estate last night?" And Jez was like, innocent face, no. "Oh, yeah, well, it started about 3:30 in the morning, something like that. Next one, the riot van's there, the dog's there." Like, it really, really, really kicked off because I thought that Kerry was on the ground floor and she was actually in the lift, so that was all my fault. "Shut your fucking mouth!" like as a joke. Yeah. Oh man, that backfired. Okay. But I didn't have to see I didn't see what really went on. But we heard that the police had been called and riot vans and all sorts. So
words have power. Hey?
Yeah, I think it was a bit like when dogs start barking at each other and it all just escalates. Yeah.
Oh man, she didn't get the video of that. That'd be amazing. And here's the video.
Yeah.
The show.
I should have. I didn't have my phone. I had a video at that point. It was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Up to Daisy moments.
So the next thing you got to do is like your festival, which is on the. What? When does it start?
Starts on the 4th of June.
4th of June.
There's a 2-week block. It ends on the 17th. It starts with Zoe Lyons and Jen Brister.
Yeah.
That's a lesbian night.
Right.
And then ends on the 17th, which is a matinee. I've got Robin in, so that's the intellectual afternoon. And then I've got 3 matinees do in July with Tom Stage, Sean Marsh and Marcus Brigstock. So it ends with Marcus Brigstock, really. Yeah. I'm doing 4 nights at a pub in Brixton. Basically, I'm coming for the Victoria line. I'm getting it in pincer movements. I've got Walthamstow at one end, Brixton at the other end. Mm-hmm. So I'll be slowly taking it over as the years go on. So I'll have the whole Victoria line at some point. But that's the Prince of Wales, and that's because a friend of mine who used to be the manager at the Comedy Cafe, he now runs the pub in Brixton. And they've got a decent-sized room, and he likes comedy, and he's into comedy, and I tried I said, do you fancy having some previews in your gig? Because I'm booking these people anyway, might as well stick them in your... I went, yeah, no problem.
Great.
So, just got to hope that their promotion machine does the trick, because I'm not promoting that one.
Right. Well, good luck.
Fingers crossed!
And so what else you got on planning? Just focusing on that. What about after this? Anything exciting for you?
Daliso said he might be extending his tour.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll probably be doing more dates for that, and then I've got lots of gigs booked for the autumn, carrying on with the radio. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, I've got a little project on the back burner that I can't tell you about, because then if I did, I'd have to kill you. Yes, obviously. And all your listeners. And, so I'm just looking forward to the fact that I'm not in Edinburgh.
Oh, nice, yeah. A bit of
I'm
doing Edinburgh this year as well.
Oh, mate! I'm coming up for 5 days on a jolly, which is the best way to do it, I find. And the rest of the time I'm just going to be sunning myself. See that swing seat that's in the garden there?
Nice.
It's called Greg Davies.
Right.
Because when Greg Davies did a preview at my gig last year, he refused to let me pay him. So I bought that. So every night I'll be sitting on Greg Davies for most of August.
Fair. That's great. That's probably a better time I'm going to have in Edinburgh this year.
I can guarantee it will be.
I'm going to be in the wee room in the Three Sisters, the little behind the back. You know, sort of like the one that looks like a speakeasy. You can walk in. It's like a kind of a cushion, nice cushion.
I've not been in that one.
Very nice. It's very. I've actually got walls this year.
So, that'd be luxury for you, won't it? And what's the show called?
It's called By the Power of Grayskull. So it's an absolute fuck about show, because I just want to get some stuff out, you know, and just hold some shit up, you know. Basically just going to sandwich 2 club sets together, and then and just kind of make them as best I can possibly make them by the end of the run, you know. And then
joke heavy. Yeah,
absolutely. There's going to be no narrative.
And how many does it hold?
It holds about maybe 25, I think.
And what time are you on?
2:45.
That's good.
It's all right. Yeah.
There's a lot of passing trade at that venue.
Loads. You can pretty easily fill.
Oh, I'll come and see you for sure.
Yeah,
I'll definitely come along. Yeah. I'll be hungover more than I am now.
That's fine. Yeah, it's really intimate. It's probably like this. It's like maybe like the same shape like as a couch, you know. Like this sort of like it's a really lovely little room.
I'll definitely come and have a look.
Yeah, great. Was it? Yeah, it's like but I'm not only like 9 or 12 dates. So yeah.
See, I'm coming the first week.
Yeah, I should be there. I'm there the first week.
Oh, I'll look out for you.
Yeah, great.
Brilliant.
All right, Susan, where can we find you?
Susan-murray.co.uk is my website. Redimpcomedy.com is my club. And I MC the club every time it's on, generally.
Yeah.
So, a resident host, and I'm just gigging round and about, and just Google me, basically.
Yeah, Google me. Google my name.
Do you actually keep your gig dates updated on your own website?
No, because
I don't either.
No,
it's really, I can't be bothered.
I'm trying to be really efficient.
I just direct people to Chortle, because they have most of the listings on there, and I just go, I'll just go and have a look on his website. Yeah.
That's fair. That's a good idea. It's good.
You're going to miss the party. I'm organising the summer party.
Oh, okay.
You know the winter one that I organise? The comedy Christmas.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Have you been to it?
I've never been to it. No.
Why haven't you been?
I've
been doing it for 10 years. Second Tuesday in January, and it's huge.
Okay, I'll come.
It's like the biggest comedy event of the year.
Right.
And everyone comes. Mark Steele comes, Arthur Smith comes, Jeremy Hardy comes.
Great.
Al Murray's been, Mickey Flanagan's been. Yeah. All down to people, and then there's a big spectrum of
That's great. Okay, I'm going to have to come.
I'm doing a summer one this year as well, called the Edinburgh Binge Festival.
All right, cool. Right, that's it. Maybe next year.
For people that aren't doing Edinburgh, we're not in Edinburgh, and we're going to get ranked anyway.
You can enjoy yourselves. That's it. That's
I tell you what, we'll Skype you. We'll Skype Edinburgh.
Yeah,
we'll Skype you from our party.
Right, Chris, great. Facebook Live after the gig is like, oh, how's that?
Good luck in Edinburgh.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it should be good. I'm going to enjoy it either way.
Thanks for having me on the podcast. It's been really good fun.
I enjoyed it too. Thanks, Susan. And that was episode 64 with the very funny Susan Murray. Now, if you want to go and see her live, she's just been added on to more dates supporting Daliso Chaponda. You know the guy from Britain's Got Talent? Yeah, that one. She's very funny. Go and check her out. She also does a radio show with Nina Benjamin called You Have Been Warned, and that is an online radio show for East London Radio. She's also hopefully going to be running the Walthamstow Comedy Festival again next year for 2019. Hope. She also has her own comedy club called the Red Imp. Go check her out online. Go and see her, but go and see her live. She's very funny. You can follow this podcast on Twitter at The Comedy Defect. You can follow me at WinterPhoneander. You can also see my live stand-up gig dates, which are on my website, which is winterphoneander.com. Now, you're going to get this at the end of August. I have 3 dates left of my Fringe experience. So if I'm still at the Fringe, come and see me live. I'll be at the Edinburgh Fringe. There'll be a few spaces or places that I'm going to be playing at, and you can come see the light in my eyes just be extinguished because I'll be so tired. But it's going to be great, honestly. I'm going to really enjoy this year. This show is full of jokes, full of fun, and I'm just going to love doing it. And I hope you come to see my show for about 12 dates. It's called By the Power of Grayskull. It's in the wee room in the Three Sisters. You go right to the back of the bar, up the stairs, through the door. It's only about a 25-seater, so get in there quick. And it's going to be a lovely little room to play. I've got walls this year. I'm not playing a tent. So come and see my live stand-up, which I've been working on hard this year. It's not a narrative show. It's a fun, joke-filled show. So come and see it. There's no baggy stories. It's just fun. That's my show, By the Power of Grayskull, guys. But whatever you do for August, take a break. Enjoy yourselves. And if you're in Edinburgh, work your ass off. And if I'm there and you're there, give me a shout. We'll go for a pint. I'll probably need it. Edinburgh is hard and long and grueling, but it's also very fun. Whatever you do for August, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in September for episode 65 with a very special guest. So special, I haven't recorded it yet. So we'll see you in September.